There we are. That gotta turn that on. All right. Good morning, my beautiful friends. This is your wake up call with Maui Paul. I am Maui Paul. We are here today to say some nice things about ourselves. I want to say thank you guys so much for being here. It is nice to be live again, as it is on this lovely Tuesday. Yesterday, I went pre-recorded, and you know what? It really warmed my heart to see all the people who were there, taking care of being here with the wake up call, even as I was actually had to be out of town for a little bit, at least during that time. So thank you guys so much to everybody who came by yesterday, and of course everybody who is here today. Good morning, Donna. Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Shauna and Lauren. It is wonderful to see you guys here today. Good morning, Janet. Good morning, Amanda. Like I said, just fantastic to see all of you guys here. And thank you guys so much for being here. All right, so yeah, we're going to play the I Am game once again today. I'm going to pull a card off the top of my deck. I'm going to ask you if you are the affirmation on the card. We're going to all respond out loud together. I am that affirmation. And as we do that, we are building into our lives. And so in this case, all of these cards are phrased in the you are. And so this is and acts as your daily reminder that you are daring. You are daring. You take calculated risks. So you are daring. You take calculated risks. Are you daring? You are daring. You take calculated risks. So I'm going to write that down in the chat that I am daring, that I take calculated risks. Amanda's beaten me to it as usual. It's almost like she doesn't have a show to run while she does this. But anyway, yeah, you are daring and you do take calculated risks. And if you consider it, every risk that you've taken thus far has taken you to this place, to where you are right now. All the choices or decisions that you've made have taken you here. When I look at my life, I have taken many, many calculated risks. And in general, the risks that I've taken that are that are really that have really paid off are the risks where I counted the costs beforehand, where I thought to myself, I can have anything that I want. I just have to decide what I'm willing to pay for it. And so I am daring. I do take calculated risks. I have taken many many risks in life, from the various travel that I've done to even the various business things that I've started up. Just the way that I live my life is indeed quite daring, and I do take many many risks. I do take many many risks in life. But the thing about the risks that I take is that they are in keeping with my own values. They're in keeping with what I desire to experience. And so when I look at the risks, I always attempt to have like an asymmetrical risk where the risk of gaining exceeds the risk of losing. Of course, there are always a chance that the daring things that I do are not going to work out. And in many cases they haven't. In many cases I have completely fallen on my face and failed. And that's okay, because ultimately the risks themselves have caused me to become a better person. They have helped me to understand more about myself. They've helped me to make better choices in the future than I did in the past. And so I am daring and I continue to dare. I continue to take calculated risks. The risks that I take are, the risks that I take are indeed calculated, which is to say that, as I mentioned before here on this broadcast, I did count the costs. I thought to myself, okay, well, this is what I can gain and this is what I can lose. And I thought, well, if I whatever I lose, I'm not going to be too broken up about it. But if I gain something, then it will be absolutely life changing for me. And so I'd really like to know what is a risk that you've taken recently. So yesterday I was not live on the wake up call because I was down at a bank, opening up basically a corporate bank account with some new business partners who are people who have the ability to help me move the marketing agency that I'm creating forward much faster than I could do so on my own. And so it's a calculated risk to do business with other people. It's a calculated risk to abandon, certain of my strengths to others. And yet the folks that I'm working with are folks that I already understand, a bit about their character. I understand a bit about the way that they work, about the way that they do business. And consequently, I'm very excited to work with them. Is it a risk? Of course it's a risk. It's always a risk whenever you partner with anybody. But it's a calculated risk. It's a risk where I thought to myself, well, whether it is successful or not, the fact is that the fact is um, that what I will lose if it is not successful pales in comparison with what I will gain if it is. And that ultimately is the thing that I think this card is trying to teach us today. It's that it is about the calculated nature of the risk. It's about the asymmetrical nature of the risk. Most people will make one or two really major blunders a year. And, the people who take risks will make one or two major blunders a year. But people who don't take risks will also make one or two major blunders a year. And yet the reward profile for the risks that we take is so much greater than what we're actually risking losing. One of the biggest things that irks me in life is when I see somebody who is not taking some risk that would be very beneficial for them, and where the cost is so small and the benefit, the reward is so great. And so we have to do that. And in life, we have to recognize what the costs are and what the potential costs are, what the potential rewards are, and and make sure that we act anyways. The folks who hesitate are lost. And so it's important for us to seize the day, to seize the opportunity, to recognize that no matter what we do in life, it has a potential cost. And when the potential costs are small and the potential rewards are great, then it is incumbent on us to take those risks. It is incumbent on us to dare. Those who dare are the only ones who have the ability to succeed. Because the ones who don't dare, the ones who play it safe all the time, end up living a life that is not exceptional in any way. And why else were we put on this earth except to be exceptional, except to be the exception to the rule? Of course, that's why we're here. And so therefore, let us dare to dream, let us dare to act. It is those who act that ultimately change the world. So I am daring. I take calculated risks, and I've definitely taken quite a few calculated risks lately. And you know what? Many of them have paid off tremendously for me. And the ones that I can point to and say, you know what, that didn't work out very well for me. Those risks, that those ways that I messed up a little bit, even those have given me knowledge and wisdom and discernment. And so even in the loss, I extract a gain. I extract a win from the loss. And so I am daring today, and you are daring too. You also take calculated risks, whether you're cognizant of it or not. The fact is that all of us make decisions every single day. When I was reading my old journals prior to burning them a couple weeks ago, one of the main themes inside of them was the various decisions that I was making and what my rationale was, what my reasoning was behind those decisions. Well, now I can look back at those decisions. I know which ones worked out well for me and which ones caused me pain. And when I consider the ones that worked out for me, there was always there was always a very sober counting of the costs. And when I looked at the ones that didn't work out for me, there was always a whole lot of pie in the sky thinking. And so now, as I am older and wiser and continuing to do, still continuing to make choices, still continuing to make decisions, still continuing to take risks. I simply count the costs more soberly now than I did beforehand, and I ask myself honestly, would I be okay with the consequences if this thing that I'm risking doesn't work? Would I be okay with those consequences? And if I would, I still do the thing, and I still take risks that don't pay off. But at least now, the risks that I take, if they do pay off, they have an outsized reward as to the cost is if they don't. And every single time that I do that, every single time that I make a decision of that nature, then then I'm able to really continue to set myself up for success. So you are daring, and you take calculated risks. And I see this comment section is blowing up. So let's just see what you guys have to say. The question was what risk have you taken most recently? Where have you been daring lately? So hmm, let's see here. Good morning, Eric. Good to see you here today. Good morning, Maya. Also wonderful to see you here. Let's see here. So Amanda says, when my kids were younger and I was learning how I was going to parent them, I started saying to them in situations where they were struggling, what's the worst that could happen? What's the best thing that could happen? When the risks are clear, it made decisions clearer. I use that almost every day myself now. That is a great story, Amanda. Yeah, we have to count the costs, and we also have to look at the benefits. And being lopsided in either direction leads to an unfulfilled life. If we don't move because we count the risks too high, if we don't move toward our dreams because we count the risk as being too high, then we'll never actually do anything, and then we'll live our whole lives wondering if we could have. Life will pass us by, and then we'll wonder, well, is that could I have ever done that? And of course, we could have. We could have figured it out, and I don't ever want to live with that pain of regret. On the other side, if we take risks without ever considering the costs, then eventually we're going to take a risk where the cost is far, far greater than we anticipated, and then we're going to lose, and then we're going to lose something very, very important and very valuable to us. And so either way, it's important to understand, it's important to calculate the risks, calculate the rewards, calculate the costs. And then when we do that, to the best of our ability, we at the very least make a sober decision about it. And that is the important thing. And as we make sober decisions, it teaches us how to make more sober decisions. It teaches us how to continue to walk that path of wisdom, to walk that path of discernment, to refine our decision making processes so that the deck is stacked in our favor. That's really what successful people do, is we stack the deck in our favor. And I know it because I see that all the people around me who do that all the time. I recognize when they're taking a risk, but I also recognize that they have counted the costs, and that they recognize what the potential rewards are. And then once we do dare, it's important that we continue all the way, that we follow through with it. The only way to pull defeat from the jaws of victory is to stop doing it when we get our first bit of adversity. Because no matter how successful our risk taking is, it always entails a bit of work. It always entails a bit of it always entails a bit of adversity that we need to overcome, because in order for us to be successful, we need to change who we are as people. So the fact is that that adversity is to be expected. And as we push past that, as we dare and continue to push forward toward the ultimate goal, toward our ultimate objective and outcome, then we are really continuing to set ourselves up for more and more success. So I am daring today. You are daring too. This card is our permission slip to dare, to take some risks, to calculate them, to say, listen, if this works out, then good things will happen. Then many good things will happen. And if it doesn't work out, then only a few bad things will happen. Then do the thing. And if we count the costs and we say, well, if this works out for me, then I'm going to get a small benefit. But if it doesn't work out for me, I'm going to get a whole heap of crap on me. Then definitely don't take that one. Yeah. So you are daring today, and we are all daring today. So this is, like I said, our daily reminder that you are daring and that you do take calculated risks. So Janet says, it's been 2 years now, but taking the risk of being single after 25 years of marriage has provided me so much growth. Yep. Absolutely, Janet. The fact is that changing the nature of our relationships and changing our definitions of ourselves, which is very much what you do when you choose to no longer be a part of a relationship, or no longer do things the way that you were doing them for many, many years. But when we do that, it's always quite the risk, and and that risk turns into a tremendous amount of growth and in unexpected ways. I know that when I got divorced, that there was a tremendous amount of growth that happened in me that had to happen in me, like a reconsideration of the way that I'd been doing life and a commitment to do it differently. And then to see if the differently that I was doing it turned out to be better. And as it turns out, it did. Tony says, I am daring. I love taking risks, whether it be moving to a new home or a new job. It makes life an adventure. Indeed, it does. And that's the ultimate cost for the people who don't take risks, is that their life ends up boring. The life ends up predictable. And a predictable life, it seems like something we would want until we consider that every single day has always been different all the way up until this point. And so a little bit of unpredictability creates opportunity. It's people don't like things that are unpredictable because we want to believe that we're in control of everything. And yet, of course, we're not in control of anything. We are, we are a part of a much, much larger system that is, that is going on all around us. And so, as we, the more that we try to cling to what we already know, the more that we are going to lose our life in worry, doubt, and fear. But not us. We're going to do things differently. We're going to gain our lives through a confident expectation that the risks that we take have an outsized chance of reward. And as we do that, we are going to find we are going to find the life that we seek, and we are going to achieve the fulfillment that so many people look for through stuff or experiences, the fulfillment that only comes through really living true to ourselves. So yeah, I want to say thank you guys so much for being here. It is always a pleasure to see my friends. Good morning to Amanda, who just showed up. Good morning. Let's see here. Good morning, Tony. Good morning, Janet again. Hey, looks like Stacy's here. Hello, Stacy. We got a Dan and a Stacy here today. Wonderful to see you guys. Good morning to Amanda and to Silk. It is once again fantastic to see you, and also to Maya. Wonderful to see you here on the Wake Up Call, Maya. Good morning to Eric and Shauna and to Dan and to Lauren. And it is once again just fantastic that you guys are around. And of course, over to Donna as well. So yeah, we are daring people today. So let us dare to dream. Let us dare to succeed. Let us dare to make choices that are good for us, and also to make choices to refrain from doing things that are bad for us. Only we know the difference between the two. And so follow your feelings, follow your heart. Take an honest look at the decisions and the choices that you're making today, and count those costs. But also, don't spend so much time thinking or dwelling upon what could go wrong. Also dwell upon what could go right and how much benefit that would bring to your world. So, just in the words of Tony, I dare you all to have a great day. I dare you. I double dog dare you to have a great day. You are just rocking it at life. And this is a daily reminder that I love you, that I care about you, that you are important to me, and that I will talk to you tomorrow at 9 a.m. with another one of these messages. Until we meet again, my friends, aloha from paradise.